Hi, everybody. My name is Josie Cox, and I am the Program Initiative Director for Special Olympics Oklahoma. And I am super excited to get to spend the next hour or so with you to talk about Unified Champion Schools and getting you prepared for the 2025-26 school year. So let's get things started. First, let's look over our agenda for what this training is going to entail. We've got about 10 different topics of conversation that we are going to dive into. One thing I do want to note right now, and I'll talk about it a little bit later, but if you are a returning advisor to the Unified Champion School program, there is one section in here that we're going to skip over for you. So please just be aware of the timestamps that I am showing on the screen. That way you're not over or hearing information that you already know and have been well exposed to because you've done this before. But if you want a refresher and want to hear this training through and through, please feel free to do so. I will say you will be tested over it regardless if you hear it or not in this training. So let's talk about the timeline of certification. So upon completing this online webinar, you, the advisor, will need to complete an online test. You are currently on our Smartsheet training platform where underneath this video is the test that you will need to complete. My suggestion, start answering those questions as I am pointing them out. And then underneath, you will see the coach's certification list. So once your name pops up there, that means you have passed 100% the test and you are good to go. If your name doesn't pop up there once you have completed the test, that means you either got one or more of the questions wrong and you will need to recomplete it. So please, please, please don't leave this site to walk away from the training until you have completed the test. That way, all of this information is fresh in your mind and you are good to go for the 2025-26 school year. Once you have completed the training and completed the test, you'll receive a certificate via email to show your completion of this course. And this certification is good for one school year, so the 2025-26 school year. Next, I want to touch on a couple terminology points that you will hear throughout this training. You've already heard it so far, advisor. So if you hear the word advisor, that is referring to you, the educator or coach of the Unified Champion School program. If you hear certified coach, that means you have completed the coach's training through Special Olympics Oklahoma. Educator, I'm kind of encompassing all of you guys in this. That means you're a teacher, administrator, coach, counselor, etc., somebody who is in the school system. So educator, that is what I'm referring to. If you hear SOOK, that is Special Olympics Oklahoma, SONA, Special Olympics North America, and to cap off our love of acronyms, UCS, Unified Champion Schools. So let's get things started. First, we're going to go over Smartsheet. So Smartsheet 101. I do want to note right now, Smartsheet is free. If you are prompted to pay for an account, you do not need to. That is if you want to be bougie and level up. You do not need that though. Everything that I am giving you access to is completely free. So do not feel the need to pay for any Smartsheet subscription of any kind. But for those of you that are new or a refresher into Smartsheet, we're going to go over what all of these icons mean and where you can find all of the goodies that are made available to you being a Unified Champion School program. So first, the home button, very top. This icon, clicking on it will give you an overview of every sheet, dashboard, file, anything that you have access to or currently have been working on. Next, notifications. Underneath that, underneath the home button, you will find the notifications, which will be directly linked to your account. So you'll see a little red icon, 1, 2, 3, 4, however many notifications you may have that are prompted to your account. Next, we have browse. So skipping over the search button, search is what you think it is. You are searching for something, but browse, use this button to access the dashboards, sheets, things that you are given permission to. 99% of the work that is shared with you from SOOK, Special Olympics Oklahoma, will be under the Sheets tab, which is under Browse. Clicking on the Sheets button, you will find your UCS Advisor dashboard, Young Athletes dashboard, SO College dashboard, and the Professional Development and Training dashboard that you are currently working on. Recent. So this is just another HubSpot essentially that's going to take you back to something that maybe you were working on or were just had open. Favorites. This is one I do want you to take note of. If you put a little, like you click on that star that's next to the title on the top of the dashboard or sheet that you have open, that is favoriting the item that you have open, and it will appear underneath the favorites tab that is on the left-hand side. So if you have any questions or you run into issues, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. But that's kind of a little overview of Smartsheet. We do a lot of things through there. So I just want to make sure that you guys are up to date and understand Smartsheet. Next, let's talk about the steps to become a certified Special Olympics coach. Now, those of you who know, we have a couple new platforms of how we are doing all of our training. So please take note and pay attention to this section. Expectations for UCS first, though. So either before or immediately after completing this UCS advisor training, every advisor must be at least a level 1 assistant coach. So those steps are going to be outlined in the coming slides. Every unified champion school also must have at least one level 2 certified coach. So I'm going to say that again because we got all of our numbers mixed up in there. So everybody who is a UCS advisor must be a level 1 assistant coach, and every unified champion school program must have a level 2 certified coach, but only one is required. Those steps again are going to be outlined in the coming slides. I do want to note that this training right here, right now, is not a sports specific course. So that will not grant you your level 2 certified coach certification. You must be sport trained in bocce, cornhole, cheerleading, etc. So let's get into it. Go to our Special Olympics website, www.sook.org. You're going to click on the Coaches Corner icon, which is up top, and then you're going to get a drop-down selection, which is Coaches Training and Education. Click on that, and it takes you to this page. You are going to click on the red circled click here under the How to Become a Level 1 Assistant Coach. That is going to take you to our new portal that's going to allow you to become a level 2, level 3, and level 4 coach. So everything you need to do is starting off by clicking here on that button underneath How to Become a Level 1 Assistant Coach. It is going to take you to this portal. You have 2 options here. You either are going to create a new account or you are going to sign in. So most of you have an account and you might not realize it. So you can sign in. If you need to reboot it, it will send you reset my password or whatever the case may be. If you have issues, reach out to our volunteer manager or reach out to anybody in our sports department and they should be able to help direct you. But we are going to walk through the steps of how to create a new account for those of you who don't have one. So if you click on that first button, create a new account, this is what's going to pop up. You are going to select that you are in the state of Oklahoma, and you are going to select that your role is a volunteer. You're not an athlete. You might be a parent, guardian, or family, but right now you are going to select that you are a volunteer because that is encompassing our coaches. Next, it's going to ask you for this list of personal information. So you're going to fill in all of those. It will ask you for the region that you are in. If you don't know what region you are in, you can refer back to our Special Olympics website, and we have a map that looks just like this, and it will help identify what area. So you're in area 7, which is green country. It's going to test all of my knowledge right now. And I'm going to stop there. So just refer back to that map and it will let you know what area you are in. Then it's going to prompt you immediately to your volunteer release form. So this is what once you complete that, you will get the icon of thank you for signing the volunteer release form. You will click on go to my checklist. But once you have clicked agree, you will see the following screen and receive the confirmation email to what you put in there. So that email, I kind of showed a glimpse of it, is in the bottom right-hand corner. But once you have seen all of that and you're good to go, you're going to click on go to my checklist. Going to your checklist, you will then see that you have completed the volunteer release form. You're not done though. You need to now go to select your volunteer role, okay? So that is that first option on the left side. Once you click there, you're gonna click on the coach option. There's 2, it'll be coach or general and event. Click on coach, and then all of these other extra icons are gonna pop down. So again, all of you must be at least an assistant coach. So that's that first thing that's gonna pop up. One person per UCS program site needs to be at least a level 2. So then we'll get into that in a second. But assistant coach is that first one that pops up. And you are going to apply to this position. So it's going to show you all of the things that will be required. And once you apply, you're good to go and it's going to add to your checklist. Then you can go back and add other certifications that you want to. So maybe you want to be the coach in athletics or basketball. So you can, again, click on that, apply to this position, and it's going to add to your checklist. So once you have successfully applied, it will go back to your checklist and you will see all of the things that you need to do. It will show you that it is incomplete until you've done it. So like I said in the very beginning, volunteer release form was the first thing that you were prompted to do. You did it. It's completed and you're green and good to go. Once you have applied and added things to your profile, to your checklist, it's going to appear below. And until you do it, it will be marked as incomplete. So next, if you want to level up and become a level 3 or level 4 certified coach, these steps are outlined here. If you have any issues or problems, please reach out to our sports department, John and Brittany. They will be happy to help direct you, give you the guidance, but these levels are not required in Unified Champion schools. But you can if you would like. Next, let's talk about uniforms and logos. Before I get into it, I want to say, please don't shoot the messenger. I am just relaying information because we want to set a quality standard across our state and make sure that everybody is on the same page. So we're going to get into our favorite topic of information and talk about approved logos first. So these 3 that you see right here are all approved. You can do the 2-line example. You can have the center, the little meatball above the words of Special Olympics Oklahoma, or you could have it to the side. The SOOK logo can be used in black, white, red, or gray, or a mixture of these 3 colors. Please note, if you use multiple colors, the circle is always red. So if you're going to be multi, the circle always red. Okay? Next, let's look at some other approved examples. So like you see here, this is all red. This is gray because the words are gray. But you can see here that this is black and this is red. So you couldn't do opposite. Like this couldn't be black and this red. So hopefully that makes sense. We have our Unified Champion School approved logo. We love the Play Unified logo because that is what you guys are all about, is the unified aspect of Special Olympics. And then here's another Special Olympics approved Unified Champion School logo. So all of these are at your fingertips. If you are ever like, hey, I want that logo or I need access to that, email me. Please reach out and I will give you PNG, JPEG, everything you need so then you can use it and have the approved logos on your uniforms, t-shirts, banners, everything in between. Now, again, don't shoot the messenger, but here are some examples of not approved branding. So as you can see here, the Special Olympics meatball is by itself. We can't do it just by itself. And you can see here too, even though it's so cool how it's just in that eye for Team Incredibles, we can't do that. What we could do is right there, or right here, put Special Olympics Oklahoma right underneath it. Have it be big and large and in your face. So that is what we are doing there. We do want to note International, Special Olympics International does have the right to do it on its own. So if you see it, that's why. Here's a couple other examples of beautiful designs, passionate, love it, beauty, art, but it's not technically approved. Couple more. Again, don't hate me. I love you all. And I love your designs. But here's an example of approved. We love to see it. There is the Play Unified logo. We have a very cool design and we have it plopped in there. Teams are more than welcome to have their own unique designs on their shirts and uniforms. Here we can clearly see the Play Unified logo displayed on the shirt. That's good. That's great. As long as there is an approved Sook logo displayed on the shirt somewhere, whether it be on the front, the sleeve, the back, you're good to go. Here's a couple other approved versions. I really like this one too. Like it's the just seeing it in a different setting where it's still big and large and in charge, and I think it's awesome right there and how it's used in a different and unique way. So definitely just take note of that. And then as you can see, just putting it on the sleeve, you're good to go. Have your cool designs on the front, the back, and just put the logo on the sleeve if you're wanting to hide it because it's not as aesthetically pleasing to match the rest of the design. So that is the approved branding examples. Next, this is the time. If you are returning UCS advisor, please jump to the time that is on the screen. So jump ahead. I'm going to give you guys some time to pause me, but bring me back and jump to the time that is listed on the screen. If you are a new advisor or wanting to be refreshed on the information of what is Unified Champion School strategy, just giving you the rundown of it, please stick along. We're going to jump right into it. But again, if you are returning, jump to the time that is on the screen now. Thank you. Okay. Everybody else, let's get rocking and rolling. We are going to talk about what is Unified Champion Schools. What is the strategy? What is the true purpose of this program and how it can be implemented at your school? So, overview. This portion of the training is going to leave you with an understanding over the Special Olympics mission, the goals of the Unified Champion School strategy, how Unified Champion Schools aligns with and supports the work of all educators. We're going to talk about the 3 components of Unified Champion Schools and then resources that are available to implement this strategy at your school. So let's talk about, why did you become an educator? What took you on this path? Is it to teach? Perhaps you are passionate about a particular subject and want to spark the same passion in others. Or maybe you witness or experience learning challenges and want to creatively fill a learning need for students. Or is it to inspire? You understand that education has impact far beyond the classroom and into the world. You inspire your students to build self-esteem and build life skills and gain importance of inclusion and how to self-correct when they are off course. You're empowering your students. So is it to inspire? Maybe it's to innovate. Is it because you are energized by the fact that you, as an educator, are always learning too? You innovate new and better ways to work with students and stay ahead of the curve rather than accepting the status quo. Is it to create change? Is it because of the impact your voice has at the school, local, state, and national level? Or the change agents you see your students become? Or is it to include? Think of how you feel when you see students, regardless of ability, being excluded inside and outside of the classroom. As a student yourself, you likely witnessed exclusion and remember the feeling it gave you. When you signed up to make a difference in a student's life, you knew that that meant every student, no exceptions, regardless of ability. Special Olympics Unified Champion Schools was Special Olympics was founded in 1968 for many of the same reasons you are an educator: to teach, to inspire, to innovate, to change, and to include. From the start, Special Olympics has led the movement of equity, diversity, inclusion, and dignity, all through the power of joy and sport. When Eunice Kennedy Shriver founded Special Olympics in 1968, she took a rebellious stand against the injustices faced by people with intellectual disabilities. This courageous spirit inspired Special Olympics to become the world's largest sports organization, leading healthcare provider and primary voice platform for people with intellectual disabilities and their families. The Special Olympics mission is to provide year round sports, training, and athletic competition in a variety of Olympic type sports for children and adults with intellectual disabilities, giving them continuing opportunities to develop physical fitness, demonstrate courage, experience joy, and participate in a sharing of gifts, skills, and friendship with their families and other Special Olympic athletes and the community. Today's Special Olympics is a global movement that transforms lives every day, everywhere. Its programs bring sports, fitness, leadership, and joy to over 5 million athletes, 1 million coaches, and 1 million volunteers and unified partners in more than 170 countries. Through the Unified Champion School strategy, schools use sports as a catalyst for social inclusion. Special Olympics Unified Sports is one of the three components, along with inclusive youth leadership and whole school engagement, which together provide opportunities for meaningful inclusion of students with and without intellectual disabilities. Importantly, Unified Champion Schools is not a one-time program. Rather, Unified Champion Schools is a social inclusion strategy to activate youth, engage educators, and promote school communities of acceptance and inclusion where all young people are agents of change. It is not just a special education or athletic program. It is a customizable whole school strategy for all students with and without intellectual disabilities. And it is not just one more thing for schools to do. It is a strategy that aligns and integrates with academic, social emotional learning or SEL and wellness goals of schools with to pre-K and all the way to university. So we're going to quickly watch this video that gives you just the visual representation of what is a unified champion school. So hopefully it works. Dive a little bit deeper into the three components of unified champion schools. So when the three components are integrated together, schools experience reduction in bullying, increased opportunities for students with and without intellectual disabilities to work together, a greater sense of belonging for students with intellectual disabilities, and personal growth uh, and social skills development for all students. So it's just empowering our students when we bring all three of these components together. Schools have endless options to creatively implement all three of these components, but that does not mean that all schools will do the same thing. Go. So first, let's talk about unified sports and what that looks like. Many schools start with unified sports, and honestly, that's what I encourage all of you guys to start with. Unified sports is providing opportunities for students with and without intellectual disabilities to participate together in a variety of ways, from skill development and fitness activities to traditional and competitive leagues. Through unified sports, students develop athletic and social skills, build long lasting friendships, and learn to lead on the playing field and cross the school community. So, unified sports is truly the platform for unified champion schools. So, we'll talk a little bit more of just some options of what unified sports looks like, especially at the pre K, elementary, middle, high school, and college level. But let's talk about inclusive youth leadership next. Inclusive youth leadership is when students with and without ID work together to lead and plan advocacy, awareness, and other inclusive activities throughout the school year in ways which each student's unique contributions are made and recognized. And then finally, let's talk about whole school engagement. Whole school engagement is awareness and education activities that promote inclusion and reach the majority of the school population. Through whole school engagement activities, all students and staff on campus have opportunities to participate in making the school community more inclusive for students with and without ID. So, let's diving deeper into kind of each of those components. So like I said, unified sports in the primary school level, so pre-K and elementary and a little bit of sixth grade, we have young athletes. Young athletes is for our 0 to 7 year olds. That's where we're introducing the skills necessary to play basketball, to play soccer, where we're teaching these children how to dribble, how to pass, how to shoot with their hands, with their feet. And we break down the skills all the way to just holding something in our hands and maybe tossing it to the other hand. And we're working our skills all the way up. Young athletes is an awesome opportunity, and I have so many resources that will become available to you at the fingertips to implement during the school day, during a physical education classroom setting, after school, sending it home to the parents. So, a lot of different things that you can do with young athletes. Junior athletes is just a continuation of young athletes, where we know whenever our athlete turns 8 years old, they are eligible to compete in Special Olympics. So 7 and younger, that's why you'll hear young athlete events and not competitions, because young athletes is not a competition. You're not competing. It's learning the skills. But when you're a junior athlete, it's still not that competitive play. Maybe you do have an 8 year old that is ready for competition though. So they are able to compete in unified sports. Unified sports, I mean, we've got everything is unified essentially here in Oklahoma. So you have lots of opportunities to pair your athlete, somebody with an intellectual disability, with a unified partner, somebody without an intellectual disability, and have them compete together. They are going for that same gold medal, that same blue ribbon. We want them to be on that same level of competition and building relationships through it all. So hopping over into the secondary school column, we have unified sports. So, like I said, we're competing in unified sports. Maybe we're competing in the higher level of interscholastic leagues. We have a phenomenal partnership with OSSAA where we offer unified volleyball, unified esports, unified cheerleading, and unified 4x100 track relay. And I hope and pray that this is just the beginning, you guys. I truly think that more sports are going to be added, maybe even this school year, fingers crossed. But this is just the beginning, where our high school athletes are competing at such a high quality level and competing right alongside their peers, and going for that same big OSSAA trophy or medal. So definitely we are offering that high inclusive level of competition. Now, at the college and university level, again, we have so many unified sports available, but we also encourage intramurals. That is the time for your campus to embody and embrace unified champion schools, or what we call at the college level, SO College, and bringing in athletes from the community, or maybe you have athletes on campus and you're competing at an intramural level and you have a division for unified intramurals. So lots of options and opportunities. Biggest thing I want to point out here, if you need help with unified sports, please do not hesitate to reach out to myself, but specifically to our sports department. John Seals and Brittany Dion, they are there to help you, encourage you, problem solve with you. So let them be the partner with you in the unified sport, that first component of this entire strategy. Next, let's dive into inclusive youth leadership. Inclusive youth leadership is so fun. We have so many different options and things available to how you can make it work for your school. I want to note right now, before I talk into the primary, secondary, and college level, that maybe something in the primary level would work at the secondary or even college level. So please know that these are all interchangeable and can be used at any grade level, no matter how old your student may be. So, but let's talk about it. Primary schools, we love to see lunch buddies where you're just sitting down and providing the space for authentic relationships and friendships to take place, where maybe they share a snack or they share a common interest in pretzels or chocolate. And that's where that relationship can build off of. We love to see recess buddies pair together students to play together, where they go outside and they're playing basketball, they're jumping rope, they're swinging on swings. So we really encourage recess buddies as well. And finally, at the primary school level, we love to see reading buddies. Read a book as a class and do a discussion about it. Worksheets that maybe follow what the book was talking about. I have a ton of unified reader resources. I even have videos read by athletes, our Athlete Leadership University with Special Olympics Oklahoma. These are athletes who are training to become leaders and spokespeople for our organization, and they've read children's books. Put that on the screen, have a class conversation about it. So these are just a few examples of what inclusive youth leadership could look like at the primary level. And I want to note too that at that primary level, we really want this to be the time where you're teaching your students, what does it mean to be a leader? Because at this point, they're not going to hold a club meeting and vote on things, but maybe they're going to learn, what does it mean to vote? What does it mean to be kind to your peers and listen to what everybody's opinions are? So that is what we're really trying to push and provide the space for at that primary level. In the secondary level, we love to see unified clubs. So what we are training our little ones to then hopefully be engaged in once they get to middle and high school. So unified clubs, we love to see these clubs meet at least once a month, where they're discussing leadership opportunities or maybe working towards a whole school engagement, which we'll talk about here in a second. Maybe you are interacting with the unified challenges that I have available to everybody, which again, we'll talk about here in a little bit. But these unified clubs, they can be during the school day, before or after, or maybe you join a pre-existing club, you join student council, and you create a new chair of unified chair. These are the people who are going to implement inclusive and unified activities throughout the school year. So there's a lot of different options and a lot of different resources that will become available to you to implement IYL and at your school. Finally, let's talk about college and university. Again, unified club is what we love to see. One thing that we have noted and have heard is getting that club approved on campus and making sure it meets all of the club requirements. That way it is acknowledged just like any other club on campus. So if you need help with any of those things, please do not hesitate to reach out. That is my expertise is inclusive youth leadership. Next, let's talk about whole school engagement, that third component of UCS. So all of these things, again, can be interchanged and done at any grade level, but let's break it down just a little bit. So primary school level, you'll see across the board, spread the word inclusion. That can be done by anyone, any age. And what that is, Spread the Word Inclusion is a national movement led by Special Olympics North America, where we partner with Best Buddies. It is the first Wednesday of March, which is kicking off. The month of March is Developmental Disability Awareness Month. And we have an entire month where you can do so many fun, inclusive activities to bring recognition and love to our athletes. And so the first Wednesday, though, is the Spread the Word Day, where maybe you sign a banner, or maybe you do a fun school spirit day where everybody wears crazy socks or the color blue or something fun. So definitely lots of different options that you could do on the Spread the Word Inclusion Day, which is a whole school engagement. Some other things that you could do at the primary level are send offs and clapbacks. Maybe you're going off to a competition and you have your peers line the hallway to cheer them on as they get on the bus. It's a great way to bring recognition to your team and what you guys are doing. But what I think is even better is the clap back. When your students are coming back, they've got their medals now, they've got their ribbons, maybe they have lunch from stopping off at Chick-fil-A or wherever you may have eaten, and now your students are cheering them back into their classroom. Well, now these other students are like, wait, I want a medal. I want a free t-shirt. I want free lunch. How do I get to be a part of that? So it's bringing recognition to what your program is. And this, again, can be done at elementary, middle, high school, college even. I mean, bringing recognition to what you guys are doing, people want to be involved. So something that you can do at the secondary level is a pep rally. We know that that happens. I mean, some schools do one a month. And what we love to see is having your unified club being recognized like any other sports team on campus. Let them be cheered on as they are bringing back their gold medals from winter or summer games. Maybe an OSSAA championship was just won. And so let them be the spotlight at your pep rally, or just let them be engaged in that pep rally. So it could be just being included, or you have an entire pep rally focused on your unified club, or just the unification that your school is embodying. So lots of different options and things that you can be integrated into. And then at the college level, something that you guys could do and what we've seen to be successful is being a part of the halftime of some competition. If you have a basketball team at your school, maybe at halftime, you guys go out and demonstrate unified basketball. Maybe during football, I mean, that would be crazy, going out there during a halftime and demonstrating flag football at a unified level. Like, that's so cool just to think about. So if you're able to do that, that's what we want to see. That is whole school engagement to the next level. So all of that to be said, what do you guys say? What have we heard? How has this been successful amongst your peers? So you saw some statistics in the video, but these statistics are specifically for Oklahoma. So I want to share these all with you all. So research has confirmed the following of educators who implement Unified Champion Schools, and this is for Unified Champion Schools. 70% believe that Unified Champion School programming helps students develop social emotional skills like compassion, patience, and sportsmanship. 55% believe that developing friendships between students with and without ID is the greatest benefit of Unified Champion Schools. And 92% say that Unified Champion Schools reduces bullying, teasing, and offensive language. Research also has confirmed from students, so at the high school level, students said this, 71% reported that they remained in contact after graduation with students with ID who they met at their school's inclusive programming, particularly if they served as a leader. And 87% report that they learned that standing up for something that they believe in is the right thing to do. So cool. Now at the middle school level, we saw that 64% of students say that participating in Unified Champion Schools, UCS, activities help them learn about working with others and to be more patient. 77% of students who participated in UCS activities in middle school continue to be involved when they get into 9th grade. So a little tidbit, if you are a middle school in here right now and you don't have a high school program, go get them. Or high schools, if you know your middle school that is feeding into you is not a part of this, go get them. We saw that 77% are going to be a part of this. So we want to keep that inclusive, unified opportunities throughout their entire streamline of education. So, support. How can you help your students on this unified champion school trajectory? Maybe your school is already a unified champion school and you want to be more involved and go district wide. Maybe you are the first person at your school and you want to implement this strategy and are ready to start down the path of implementation. Regardless of where you are at, you are not alone. There are many people, many educators who are doing this, and they are the resources to help you take the next step. So, here are some specifics on who to reach out to and who can help you. Special Olympics Oklahoma staff, myself, and the rest of the Special Olympics team, we are here to support you, give you ideas, and be your right-hand man. We are your source for ideas and training for implementation, connections to other UCS schools, and resources that are going to help you be successful. Leadership teams. This is something we really want to push because I know it is going to help you. I've seen it be successful. So, the UCS strategy is best implemented not by a single person or department, but by a school leadership team. The leadership team works together to plan, monitor, assess, and adjust all three components of the UCS implementation at their school. Looks for ways to integrate the strategy into existing school priorities to extend social inclusion throughout the entire school. It is intergenerational in nature with youth and adults working together. This team can be comprised of students with and without ID, parents, teachers, counselors, coaches, administrators, and more. If your school does not have a leadership team or you are needing some help, look around the school, identify the individuals already committed to social inclusion who might be willing and able to help you with those three components. I always like to point out, look at who's your STUCO representative for your school. That might be a perfect person for IYL. Who's your PE teachers? Do you have good connections with them? Who's your AD? That would be awesome for athletic or for unified sports. And then whole school engagement. Find the teachers who your students love. Maybe it's you, and maybe it's the teacher right next door, the people who have that energy that is just contagious and you want to get them involved. Those are the people who are great to bring alongside you and partner with and have them be a part of your leadership team. Support for educator resources. We've talked about it. I've mentioned it. So we're going to jump into it here in just a little bit. But I want to just note right now that this UCS Advisor Dashboard is your one-stop shop to every resource you may need. There are specific plague books for each grade level, which were just updated this last year. So they are fresh. And they are there to help explain, give examples on how to implement each component on another level. If there is a resource you are needing, cannot find, please communicate that with me. And that is what I am here to do, is help create, find, and get you all of the answers you may need. So we're going to dive into this dashboard here in just a couple minutes. But also, I want to point out that Special Olympics North America has a website that takes the Generation Unified to a whole nother level. They have literally class curriculum that you could implement. And I even pulled a lot of it into the unified challenges that we are going to implement this coming year. But there's so many videos, tools, resources that are available at this website. So I'll give you a second if you want to write it down, screenshot, whatever works for you. But generationunified.org, definitely check it out. Embracing the unified generation. I just want to end with this on what is the UCS strategy. So in the end, the Unified Champion School strategy is an evidence-based, resource-rich, supportive way to empower and assist educators and students as they ensure their schools are safe and inclusive places to learn, make friends, develop skills, and have fun. It is a strategy that takes you back to why you work in education to begin with. Was it to teach, to inspire, to innovate, to change? But overall, you have the opportunity to include. So, UCS strategy, thank you so much. We are going to jump, we're going to continue on. So, those of you who jumped, this is where you are at. My returning UCS advisors, thank you for joining back with me. We are going to talk about the sustainability program that is set in place for you guys all to be successful. So, every year, a school is involved in Unified Champion Schools. The program will receive funding from Special Olympics Oklahoma. The funding will be distributed through a check to the school's UCS program account. So these checks are not going to be written to a person. They are written to a school account. So if you don't have that open, please work with your financial department and get that open. Maybe it's a booster club. Maybe it's a class account or something along those lines. So make sure you have that and that is correct on your UCS agreement form, because that is the name that is being written for your UCS check. First semester checks will be sent out at the end of September, which will be 40% of your entire total. Second semester checks will be sent out at the end of March, and you'll receive the other 60%. I do want to note that the Youth Leadership Summit registration fee has been cut down drastically. So instead of it being $25 a person, it's going to be $10 a person this year if you go to our 2-day Youth Leadership Summit. And if you go to our 1-day Youth Leadership Summit, it's going to be $5 a person. So again, cut down drastically. If you go to the 2-day, it's 10. If you go to the 1-day, it's 5 per person. Yearly funds for schools. So breaking this down, if you are a first-year program, this is your first time ever doing Unified Champion Schools, you are going to receive $1,500. Now, again, I mentioned the checks are going to be distributed in a first semester and second semester check at different percentages. So first semester, $600, second semester, $900. As you guys can see listed, all of the other amounts, second year, $1,000, third year, $750. Now, if you're a fourth year or fifth year, sixth year, seventh year, eighth year, you're receiving $500. That will remain consistent. Now, I do want to take note of a district bonus. So schools a part of a district that value and prioritize Unified Champion Schools across all levels of education can receive a district bonus in their second semester check. Requirements to become district-wide. Every level of education is represented in the district, providing unified opportunities. So high school, middle school, and elementary. Each district is different in population. I'm well aware of that. So the level of involvement will be determined for each district independently. I have a list of every single district, what school is involved, and we're kind of doing a percentage of if you've met district-wide implementation. So if you think you are there, please reach out. But if you were district-wide last year, we'll continue that and make sure that you're still hitting those requirements of district-wide percentage-wise. The district bonus check will be sent out to the UCS district coordinator. Allowable costs. So this is kind of a topic of conversation where people are like, what can I spend this money on? So this is it. Take your screenshot, write it down. It is one of the questions on the test. So if you're looking at it, hop on over to that right now. These are the things that can be spent. If it's in that red bullet though, you cannot spend it. So equipment, yes. Uniforms, yes. Shoes, no. Transportation, yes. UCS events and functions, yes. Whole school engagement activities, yes. Fundraisers, gift cards, alcohol, school-based needs, yes. Meals, travel, meeting, events, yes. If you are like, man, I don't know where this falls under, reach out. Let me know. I will help give that clarification. One thing I do want to note too, your funding is, once you have completed this test and training, you're going to get your first semester check. Whoop, whoop. So you are good to go. In order to get your second semester check, you are needing to complete your monthly reports, which we're going to talk about here in just a couple minutes. But please remember that in the back of your head. But let's talk about the Unified Champion School Advisor Dashboard. So I am going to stop my share or actually switch my share over to a different screen so we can look at this beauty together. Hopefully I shared the right screen. I don't think I did. That's okay. I'm going to bring you guys all back. We're going to look at the updated UCS Advisor Dashboard. Oh, JK. Okay, one more time. You guys might be seeing this and you're like, Josie, you did share it. And I'm going to like, no, I don't see it. I just want to make sure that I'm not like talking and you guys can't see what I'm talking about because that would be so bad. Okay, I believe it is this one. Okay, we're going to roll with it. Fingers crossed. Otherwise, my sincerest apologies. So this is the new and updated Unified Champion School Advisor Dashboard for this school year. Up top, same information from the previous year if you were here last year. But some new things you can already see our survivor icon for the Youth Leadership Summit. The breakdown on the right. So if you're a visual girly or man like me, or not man like me, girly like me, you have this example, or if you have it written out to the side, whatever works for you, you got two examples. This is also, I do want to take note, only UCS items. If you are looking for when is Unified Bocce in my area, it's not going to be here. So make sure that you're still going to the Special Olympics website for that. Announcements will be listed here. We've already got access to register for the Youth Leadership Summit, whether it's the 2-day or the 1-day. So make sure you're reading which one you want to go to. All the resources I talked about, here it is at your fingertips. So we have it broken down by grade levels. We've got different toolkits, unified PE, health and fitness is booming here in Oklahoma. So I know that this is going to be even more updated, probably by the time that you are really gaining access to this. Also, if you were here in the UCS strategy portion of the training, these are the videos that I was referring to in regards to our athlete leadership students reading books for your elementary students, which still could be used at the middle or high school level too. Additional dashboards. So if you need access to any of these items, you can click here and it'll take you immediately to unified challenges. So we're going to dive into this a little bit further here in a moment, but I do want to just point out real heavily that if you participate in the Unified Challenge, which is completely optional, you are submitting all of your participation here. Please do not email it to me. I receive so many emails in a day that I want to make sure that you get the proper points for your participation. So it must be uploaded here. However, if you are getting error on the Smartsheet side, that's the time to reach out. But if I go in and realize there's no error and you just sent it to me, please, please, please try here first. This icon right here will give you a brief overview of all of the challenges. And you'll see here, we're leveling up this year. IYL opportunities every single month. We'll talk about it here more in a minute, but this is where you will gain access to all of those additional resources for the Unified Challenges. Our fitness challenges will be listed here. We're going to talk about monthly reports right after this. So this is where you could complete it, or you can complete it via email when I send out the weekly email reminders. And once you completed it, I update this about every other day once it's getting active, so you can always check in there. We do highlight schools of the month, so you can come steal maybe some awesome ideas of what your peers are doing across the state and implement it the following month. We do have a state banner recognition program, which we'll talk about more in depth here in a couple minutes. But you can see the past schools that have participated and received this honor. If they have a icon next to their name, that means they've received it more than 1 year. However many asterisks there are means how many years that they have received this honor. And then we also have national banner recognition too. We have our youth activation committee. Our youth activation committee is phenomenal. It is 8th grade through senior in college. And these students are the ones who are putting on the Youth Leadership Summit. They're helping out at statewide events and truly just being the voice for their peers and creating such cool resources for all of you. Finally, if you need to request a meeting, you can always shoot me an email or you can come here and do it this way. And then finally, we have state area contacts. So if you are in, I referred to Green Country earlier, if you click here, it's going to take you directly to our Special Olympics website, but Green Country specifically. So you can then see all of the area competitions and things that are going on in that area. So I'm going to bring y'all back to the presentation and we're going to continue on. Like I said, monthly recaps and reports. So let's talk about this. Monthly reports are required to be completed by every UCS program every month. This report is always due on the first Friday of the following month. That is a question on the test. Go answer it right now. The report is always due on the first Friday of the following month. So example, October report is due on the first Friday of November. Once completing, the program's name will appear on the completion list of the UCS Advisor dashboard that you just saw. Monthly reports are required and must be completed every month. I know, I put it on there twice because that's how important it is. Otherwise, funding will not be provided for that semester. So, walking you through, how do you complete the monthly report, Josie? That's a great question. Thank you so much for asking. So I'm going to show you how to do this correctly because I want to make sure that you are bragging on your program. This is the time to show off. Tell me what you did because the funding you are receiving came to Special Olympics Oklahoma from Special Olympics North America, who got it from the Department of Education. They want to know, Department of Education is like, hey, we gave you this money. How's it being implemented? This is how you let me know. I then have to compile all of your guys' incredible notes and give it on over so we can continue this funding. So if you don't give me the details, then it doesn't look so great. And I want to make sure that we continue this funding and make sure that we are able to support you all. So please give me every single detail you can on what you did that month. And that's why we do it monthly and not at the semester, because it's a lot to be like in December when Christmas parties are going, kids are leaving, you're trying to go on vacation. You're like, what did I do in September? Or what did I do honestly, what did I do last week? Like that's hard. So that's why we do these monthly reports. So first, select what month you were reporting on. It will pop down. I want to make note, you are reporting on the month you just completed. You will then type in the name of your school. It will pop down all of the schools that are active, so you can click on your school's name. You will then put in the primary advisor name, primary advisor email, secondary advisor name, and secondary advisor email. So you have 2 people per school site. 2 people per school site need to be completing this test as well. How many hours did you work on Special Olympic events or tasks this week? Know that this answer does not need to be specific. You don't need to keep track of it. It's just giving me an estimate. But again, it's letting all of the people above like, hey, our schools are putting in hours on this program, this strategy, and truly embracing it to the fullest. How many athletes do you have and how many unified partners do you have? We know that those numbers may fluctuate throughout the school year, so that's why we ask you every single month. And then how much SOOC funding have you used this month? So it's kind of a percentage. It's not the greatest. I know it's a little wonky, but roll with me here. So if you select zero, that means you spent no money of UCS funding this month. If you give it a one, that means if you received 400, or let's give a number that I can do math in. If you had received $500 and you gave it a one, that means you spent $100 because that would be 20% of the 500. And then so on and so forth. So it's just a percentage, doesn't need to be exact, just giving you an idea. Next, the question that pops up will be, what components did you participate in this month? You have the four options that are listed here on the left: unified sports, inclusive youth leadership, whole school engagement, or none. If you select unified sports, that means you did any type of unified sports. That does not just mean competitions. If you practiced or went to a unified PE, you select unified sports that month. So hopefully every month you are selecting unified sports because you practiced or you maybe went to a competition. So please keep that in the back of your head. It does not just mean competition, it means practices as well. Inclusive youth leadership. If you had students come in and you did an activity, if you did a unified challenge that month, inclusive youth leadership. So again, you should be selecting IYL almost every month. Fingers crossed we are, especially if you have a unified club meeting every month. You have a recess maybe one time that month. We want you selecting IYL. And then whole school engagement. This is one that I know that probably won't be selected every month. But if it is, high five to you. Did you do any activity that involved more than just your unified partners and athletes that promoted Special Olympics or UCS? That's when you'll select UCS or whole school engagement. The only time that none should be selected is if we had another February like we did this last year, where if it wasn't being a snow out, somebody was sick. Or something was really wonky and you were not able to have a single practice, you didn't do any inclusive youth leadership, and there was no whole school engagement. That means you did nothing with Special Olympics, nothing with UCS. That's when you select none, okay? Which, that's totally understandable. I understand. So you can select that, no problem. But please, please, please don't select none and say, we had a unified sports competition, because that would be unified sports. So again, once you click these things, there's going to be extra icons or extra questions that pop up with it. So if you select unified sports in red, these three questions are going to pop up. It's going to say, what unified sports did you do? So again, if you practiced any of these sports, that's what you select. And you can put in there, we practiced, maybe we practiced every single day for the entire month. So you had 20 practices, or you went to one competition, or maybe you went to zero. You can put zero and still put 20 practices. Inclusive youth leadership, you got options to select there. And then how many meetings or how many times did your students gather to do an inclusive youth leadership opportunity? Whole school engagement, again, there's options to select. And I want to note, every single one of this selection drop downs, you can also type in. So maybe there is something that you did that you're like, this doesn't match, but so type it in, write what you did, so that way I can put points on it. And again, if you selected none, there is going to be the pop-up of what did you do this month or what happened. That way it just gives me some clarification. And maybe I can help you. Maybe something happened that halted your program. That's where I want to step in and be your supporter, and maybe we can troubleshoot. Finally, you'll get the question of, did you participate in the Unified Challenge this month? Please know this is totally optional. It's not required. So selecting no is not like tally in a bad way. It just lets me know to then go look for your Unified Challenge and make sure it's good to go. But please know, selecting this here does not count as proof of participating in the Unified Challenge. You still must upload it to the Unified Challenge button on the UCS Advisor dashboard. So please remember that. I love this highlight section because this is the time that you are put in the running for School of the Month. Lots of people have reached out of like, hey, we do all of these things. Why aren't we School of the Month? And I'm like, you didn't put anything in your highlight section. This is the time to brag on your program, share your ideas, because I copy and paste that sucker on over to the UCS Advisor dashboard to share with others. Brag on your program, show off. Like, this is the time to pat yourself on the back, because I'm doing the same thing over here, but I'm like clapping and jumping because I love to see it. So please share your highlights. Let me know what you guys are doing. Finally, if you have any cool videos or photos from what you did this month, share, share, share. I love to see it. And then finally, there's the option of questions, comments, or concerns. I do read over these, so please pop them in there. But I will say I usually wait until the end of the month to look through all of them, just so I spend my time wisely. So if you really have a question, comment, or concern, shoot me an email. All right, let's talk about these unified challenges for 2026. I do want to share with all of you the new UCS Advisor Calendar, which is very on theme for our Youth Leadership Summit this year. But these calendars are going to be sent to you in the mail once you have signed your program agreement. So you've either received it by now or it's being shipped, so don't worry. But on here, unified challenges are at the top of whatever month it is. So January, here's the unified challenge for the month. So please utilize these as a resource to remind you of what unified challenge is being available. So let's talk a little bit more. Again, optional. Please don't feel bad for not doing these unified challenges, or maybe you do one all school year long. That's awesome. These unified challenges were created out of need. Lots of schools reaching out being like, hey, we have a club, we have a team, but we don't know what to do. Like, we've hit the halt of creativity, which is so real. So that's why these unified challenges are here. It gives you something to do with your unified club, with your unified team, and pushes for that whole school engagement. So this year, I've leveled it up to give you unified challenges that truly encompass every single component of the UCS strategy, which we're going to talk about here in a second. I do want to note that if you do participate every month, trust me, the level of competition is out the wazoo. You have to complete every single month if you want to be in the running for one of the prizes, because people are leveling up every single year. It's awesome. So prizes are determined on the monthly participation and the creativity of completing the challenge. So you might have to read the challenge and be like, okay, how can we level this up as a school? And you might get bonus points for it. So like I mentioned, new component to the unified challenges this year. Every single component of the UCS strategy is going to have an activity listed and available. So each month we'll either focus on a different unified sport. It will give you an activity to do in your IYL group and provide a whole school engagement activity. So example, for September, we're focusing on volleyball. Unified volleyball is a team sport that can be practiced with as simple as a beach ball. Gather at least 3 athletes and 3 unified partners to make a team. So that's what will be shared on the unified sport component. So maybe you share a picture of your team practicing volleyball. IYL. We are going to identify our strengths and weaknesses. It's the beginning of the school year. Maybe we need to identify how is our team going to work together. So let's identify our strengths and how maybe that can help somebody else's weaknesses. And then on the flip side, identify somebody's weaknesses so then somebody else's strengths can be something that can be enhanced. So like I said, let's identify our strengths and weaknesses. Utilize the worksheet on the UCS Advisor dashboard, so it's already there, and it will give you an activity that you can do in your club to do with your students. So that is something that you can then do with everybody. And then the whole school engagement activity for the Unified Challenge of September, we're flipping it up, spell out the word champion this month. You've probably seen in the past, we spelled out the word unified. We're spelling out champion this year, you guys. So once your members have identified their strengths and weaknesses, maybe the strength is they're really good at group presentations or large gathering speaking. They're the ones who are gathering the masses and getting people spelled out. So utilize the whole or the inclusive youth leadership activity to then enhance your whole school engagement activity as well. So we're spelling out the word champion for the month of September. Here's a preview at all of the whole school engagement activities for the Unified Challenges. So September, we're spelling out the word champion. October, it's nothing down about it. It's a day to wear crazy socks with the entire school. In November, we're going to be thankful together. We're going to make videos to share our appreciation to those who are champions for the movement of Special Olympics. December, deck the halls. We are going to create paper links of encouraging words and decorate the halls for the holidays. January, the future is bright. Write on a star and write out your 2026 goals for inclusion and post them in maybe a hallway or in your gymnasium in the shape of a U for unified. For February, you are going to choose to include, but we're going to get fit while we're doing it. So on Fridays for 5 minutes, we are going to give you access to a Fit 5 guide where you choose a different movement, and maybe you choose a different class to engage with, or let it be a whole school engagement. Maybe you're able to do it on the intercom. So different ways that you can integrate that challenge. In March, it's Be the I in Kind. This is also Spread the Word Inclusion Month. So we're participating in the national movement where you can create a banner or hold a spirit week to recognize those with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And then April is Autism Acceptance Month. We're going to decorate a puzzle piece and attach the pieces together throughout the school to show how everyone can be a part of the puzzle of inclusion. All right, let's talk about the state champion banner and national banner program. Here's some dates for you. There are also questions on the test. State champion banner applications will open on March 2nd, 2026, and the applications will close April 3rd, 2026. So you have the entire month of March to complete your state champion banner application. The guidelines and standards are outlined and posted on the UCS Advisor dashboard and are available to be viewed throughout the school year to help you determine if you meet the requirements. There are examples provided for different levels of school. So primary is for pre-K and elementary, secondary is for middle and high, transition program, we're putting that in there. So that will be available. So transition programs, you can become a state champion banner. And then we have college and university. Schools that have earned this title in a previous year are able to reapply each year to add a year to their banner. Schools reapplying will do a different application from the first year school, but it will still be due at the same time. So you still have the same deadlines of March 2nd to April 3rd. For the National Banner Program, National Banner Program or recognition is provided by Special Olympics North America. To apply for the National Banner recognition, you must be a state champion banner first. So national banner applications are open in April. So that's where state is from the beginning of March to the end of March, and national is the beginning of April until the beginning of June. The standards and requirements to meet this recognition are identical to the state champion banner standards, except they are elevated. So that's why I encourage you to become a state champion banner first. That way you can know that you're on the right trajectory to become a national banner recognized school. You can find the guidelines at this website that is linked here. So if you want to take a screenshot, pause the video, write it down. That way you can go check it out after. Some other important dates. So this is something, get your calendars out, get your phones out, your notepads, whatever the case, and write down these important dates because I want to make sure they are on your calendar. They're also on this bad boy that you're going to be getting soon too. Youth Leadership Summit. So we've got 2 Youth Leadership Summits this year. The first one is a 2-day event. It will be November 7th and 8th. That's a Friday and Saturday at Owasso High School. This is open to all secondary level and college age level students. So colleges, we want you to come to this Youth Leadership Summit. We want you to see the incredible students that might become students on your campus. And then all advisors. So if you are a primary level advisor, you are also invited to this. We know your students are young. Overnights are a little tricky sometimes. So that's why we're encouraging just you, the advisor, come to the summit, not your students at this time. The deadline to register for the first Youth Leadership Summit is Monday, October 6th. Now, the second Youth Leadership Summit is available on Wednesday, February 25th, and this will be in Oklahoma City at Life Church OKC. Again, this is open to all secondary and college age students. All advisors are welcomed and invited to. And the deadline to register for that Youth Summit is Monday, January 19th. So please take note that there are two Youth Leadership Summits this year. We do have different deadlines. The lengths are different, but we are serving both sides of the state. And then hopefully next year, we'll just flip it on sides and length again. That way we're trying to reach as many schools and students as possible all year long. Next, I want to point out our Youth Activation Committee applications will open immediately after the first Youth Leadership Summit. So they will open on Monday, November 10th, and they will close Monday, January 12th. Applications are available to any athlete and or unified partner who go above and beyond at their school's unified club, and they are in 8th grade all the way up to senior in college. So if you have an 8th grader who's going into their freshman year, we obviously want to snatch them and let them be a part of YAC. And they will go through an interview process come the week of Monday, January 12th. Monday, weekly announcements are always sent out by 8:30 a.m. So this is something to just kind of keep aware and looking for your inbox, because it's going to let you know everything you need to know that week. We like to add some trivia questions, make it fun, engaging. There's prizes. So please just be engaged with these weekly announcements as much as you can. I try to make them as concise and to the point. That way I'm not wasting anybody's time, but keeping you in the loop of everything you need to know. So please skim it, read it, and you will never miss a thing when it comes to Unified Champion Schools on deadlines, because I promise you it's going to be in that email. Congratulations, you have officially completed the Unified Champion School Advisor Training. You can now complete the test that is right below. And once you have received 100%, your name will pop up and you will be good to go. After that, within a week's time, you will receive an email with your official certification certificate that is good for the 2025-26 school year. I just want to remind you that 2 advisors per school at least must complete this training. So if you just completed it, make sure your bestie does too. And if you've got a couple more friends that want to be a part of this program, send them this training, get them involved, let them know how to be champions of this strategy. And I am excited for all that this school year has to hold. Please reach out if you need anything. I'm here to support you. Have a great day. Bye.